Good day, everyone. Welcome to Real Conservative Headline News. I'm your host, Nathaniel. Rajkumar. Here are today's headlines. Protest action at Trinidad and Tobago's Water and Sewage Authority is officially on hold following an emergency intervention by Public Utilities Minister Barry Padarath to fast-track, you hear the word, fast-track stalled wage negotiations for nearly 3,000 workers. Now, will they actually fulfill their promise? That's a whole different thing. But you can't blame the PSA union leader for or accuse her of deceiving her members, like what PNM people are saying right now. Utter nonsense. In St. Vincent and the Grenadines, Tourism Minister Dr. Kishore Shallow has welcomed the launch of Taste of Vinci, a new initiative aimed at showcasing local culinary talent and boosting the country's tourism products. And internationally, President Donald Trump confirms the U.S. is holding no talks, zero, with Iran, ruling out immediate diplomatic negotiations as regional tensions persist. Yeah, but we know you're not going to finish the job, so just at some point in time, you will start back to talk to them. We know that. We all know that. Details in the news up next. PSA President Felicia Thomas announced that the union has placed its ongoing protest action at WASA on hold. The decision followed an emergency intervention by Public Utilities Minister Barry Padarath, who met directly with union leadership WASA Chief Executive Officer Roshan Babwa. Well, Roshan, why you caused this to happen in the first place? Roshan? And executive management at the authority's St. Joseph headquarters to address stalled wage negotiations for roughly 2,800 monthly paid workers. The labor unrest erupted after cost proposals submitted by the PSA in January failed to advance through WASA's management structure to the government. Union members staged demonstrations and blocked head office access, calling for the removal of the acting human resources director. Rightfully so. The PSA expressed frustration that WASA was the only state entity where management had failed to process worker submissions. Just carrying out the normal process, people. Warning that delays risked omitting the necessary wage increases and back pay provisions from the upcoming national budget. Exactly. Time running out. In response to the impasse, the government proposed a procedural fast track to move the negotiations forward. Minister Padarath instructed CEO Roshan Babwa to act as a direct intermediary, bypassing internal administrative delays to ensure that WASA's executive team transmits the union's cost proposals to the Ministry of Public Utilities by the end of the week. Now, if that's true, that is wonderful news and job well done by Padarath. If it's not true, well, we shall hear about it sometime next weekend. Right. The minister reaffirmed the administration's commitment to delivering a proposed 10% salary increase for public utility workers while pursuing international and local strategic partnerships to strengthen WASA's long-term financial position. As part of the resolution framework, Thomas confirmed that Minister Padarath committed to coordinating a high-level joint meeting involving the PSA, Finance Minister Devanjanath Tanku, that evil PNM man Tanku, and himself. That man, Tanku, Roger Alexander, and John Jeremy are destroying the UNC. The purpose of this tripartite sitting is to advance formal calculations and finalize the settlement of the wage package before budget preparations conclude. While Thomas commended the prompt ministerial intervention, she warned that union members stand ready to resume industrial action if the promised deadlines are not met. So you see, PNM people, Felicia isn't setting up or misleading her members. She's basically saying, stay calm for now, relax all yourself, no protesting, no peaceful protesting, of course. That's when I say stay calm. I mean, no protesting. No protesting. Let's see what the government is going to do. Let's see what WASA is going to do. And if they fail to keep their promises again, well, we will go back to protesting once again.
Weather report for Trinidad and Tobago on Wednesday, August 19, 2026. The weather forecast features initially sunny skies followed by cloudy intervals, localized showers, and isolated afternoon thunderstorms. Daytime high temperatures are projected to peak around 32 degrees Celsius, dropping to an overnight low of 25 degrees Celsius to 26 degrees Celsius. A high heat index of 34 degrees Celsius is expected due to relative humidity levels reaching up to 95%. Moderate easterly to southeasterly winds will blow between 5 to 35 kilometers per hour. Mild Saharan dust remains present in the atmosphere, so individuals sensitive to air quality should take precautions. Marine conditions show slight to moderate seas in open waters. Expect wave heights between 1.0 meters to 1.5 meters in open waters and under 1.0 meters in sheltered areas.
Regional news now. Minister of Tourism Dr. Kishore Shallow has welcomed the Taste of Vinci initiative, which aims to promote culinary and bartending skills in St. Vincent and the Grenadines while showcasing the country's local products. Speaking at the launch of the competition, Minister Shallow said the initiative can contribute to the development of the tourism sector by strengthening the country's food and beverage offerings and enhancing the visitor experience. Telling you, really a place I want to visit in the future. He said efforts to promote SVG and its locally produced food and beverages are commendable, particularly as the destination continues to position itself as a competitive tourism product. That's how you will generate more U.S. foreign revenue. You really need U.S. dollars, eh? We need them. They don't really need us, of course, in the Caribbean. Not that much. Minister Shallow said the Ministry of Tourism will continue working with local stakeholders to improve the overall quality of services and products offered by Destination SVG. He added that initiatives such as Taste of Vinci can help create opportunities for local talent while highlighting the creativity and resources available within the country. I said this recently, and I'll say it again. Carnival doesn't really bother me anymore. I'm not interested in Carnival anymore. But you see a lot of the different festivities that they have in St. Vincent and the Grenadines, even the sailing week and whatever they call it, I can't remember exactly. But definitely the food one, woo! I would love to visit during that period. Yeah, definitely.
And for some reason didn't gain the kind of traction that I believe, we probably weren't ready for it. But to see initiatives, we know we had Restaurant Week recently, and then to follow up with Taste of Vinci, it just sending a strong message to the rest of the world and also to our nationals right here of the confidence that we have in our domestic product, our brand, our local brand. And I think it also gives our creatives, gives them the belief that they could come forward, step forward, and they could produce as well. Similar to Kong Art, who just presented those wonderful items to Raja and his panel. But there's so much we could achieve by believing in what we have here and demonstrating the level of confidence in our local product, whether it is breadfruit. Initiatives like this certainly would give us more confidence that we could produce and process things and not only sell them here domestically, but sell them to the rest of the world.
International news now. President Trump confirmed that the United States is currently holding no negotiations with Tehran. Iran, of course, with writing on Truth Social that there are no talks or conversations going on or scheduled with the Islamic Republic of Iran. Yeah, with Kof and them organizing some kind of talk, some kind of negotiations. They're coming up with some other plan. The art of the deal, people, the art of the deal. Terrorists don't care about deals. They don't keep their promises. They will lie in order to achieve their agendas, but they will never make deals with you. They want to destroy you, Trump. Destroy America and Israel. They're not going to negotiate with you. They don't want peace and prosperity. The statement signals a hard stop in diplomatic engagements following the expiration of a 60-day negotiating window under a previously signed memorandum of understanding. He needs to finish the job. That's what he needs to do. And he ain't gonna do it because he just loves to try to pretend to be the peacemaker of the world. The man is under the influence of the Antichrist. Trump's comments directly counter recent diplomatic chatter, firmly establishing that the administration has no immediate intention to resume official dialogues with Iranian leadership, while hostilities and maritime disputes persist. Addressing the high-stakes confrontation in the Persian Gulf, President Trump asserted that the U.S. naval blockade targeting Iran remains in full force, and in fact, at least he's doing something good there to maintain pressure on the regime. The problem is, you cannot do this on a long-term basis. Why? The more pressure you put on the Iranian government, is the more the people of that nation suffer. Just like in Cuba, I've said this over and over again. These kind of diplomatic measures do not work because these radicals will never surrender. The Cuban leaders, I think they're now trying to humble a little bit, a little bit. You cannot negotiate with communists and terrorists. You have to use force. And is the people going to suffer? The people are going to suffer. And then when they start to protest, tens of thousands will once again be murdered by the Ayatollah and IRGC. He further claimed that the strategic Strait of Hormuz is open and operating after U.S. forces successfully cleared or detonated all deployed water mines in the maritime corridor. Well, I guess they have the devices, the technology, in order to verify that claim, to verify that there are no more bombs in the water in the passageway. Anyhow, despite assertions from Iranian officials that vital energy route remains shut, or the vital energy route remains shut to unauthorized traffic, because they feel they own the strait now. Trump maintained that American military dominance guarantees safe transit while enforcement operations continue. You know, he likes to talk. Let's hope that what he's saying is true, because anyone ends up being harmed while passing through the Strait of Hormuz. I hope you know you will be responsible for whatever happens there, Trump. You will be responsible. National Security Minister Itamar Ben-Gvir has unveiled plans for a dedicated prison wing for terrorists sentenced to death, following the passage of legislation introducing capital punishment for convicted terrorists. Wonderful news. We need to resume capital punishment here in Trinidad and Tobago as well. The planned facility to be built at a prison in central Israel would include a secured death row section and a designated area for executions by hanging. Plans also include observation areas where victims and relatives of victims could witness executions. We promised and we are keeping our promises, Ben-Gvir said, describing this facility as the next step in implementing the new death penalty policy.
Psalm 38, 1-4. A plea for mercy under the weight of guilt. Lord, do not rebuke me in your anger or discipline me in your fierce wrath. Your arrows have pierced me deeply, and your hand presses down heavy upon me. Because of your indignation, my body is broken and sick. Because of my sin, there is no health or rest in my bones. My guilt has completely overwhelmed me, sinking me like a burden far too heavy for me to bear.
Folks, that brings us to the end of today's headline news. Thanks again to everyone who continues to support my content. Please like, comment, share, and subscribe. Stay blessed and stay safe most of all. In Jesus' name.